Architect Shivani, representing Earthscape Studio from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. So, yeah, back to the future. This phrase makes all of us think, no? So, what do we do for future, or what is future? We say save soil, save water, say, like reduce CO2 emission, reduce, recycle, and plant more trees. But what are we, whom we are all doing this? We are doing this all for us humans. And what are we doing in the present? We are making some doors, beautiful windows, some beautiful furnitures or tables, some sustainable buildings or some modern buildings. For what? For whom? Again, for us humans. So all the present and future is all moving towards the human, right? So we architects, we are practicing architecture between present and the future. So we call ourselves as a selfish architect who are practicing architecture from between present and the future. So here we are trying to connect a bridge between nature and the human. But that bridge connection is not possible without the construction artist and the clients. Both of them are equally important as we architects. So it's about love, right? Love should come from both sides. So that's how we do. And art of choosing artists. So as a sustainable architect, we believe that more than the material or the construction technique, the construction artisans, those who are working on that are more important. Because when we talk about nature, humans are also a part of nature, right? So we want to equally utilize both of them, and we believe that this is an effective sustainable practice too. Educating, not convincing. So we architects will design and will be there at site during the construction process for a year or two till the construction goes. But then believe we leave the site then. The clients, those were the people who are gonna live there at the building which we have designed throughout their lifetime. So we have to teach them about the materials. Like since we are dealing with the earth and materials or the mud materials, we have to teach them about the material, how they're gonna react, how they're gonna respond to different weather conditions and everything. So that way they will be able to take care of their own building, because mud building, obviously it's maintenance. They have to take care of the building. So even when after we leave the site, they have to able to take care of the site by their own. So this is very important. Model making. Yeah. So we young architects, we believe that physical model plays a major role in the whole design process. You are all like a very senior to me. You all know because you have a lot of experience. But as a young architect, I believe that during the design process, these physical models helps us a lot to understand about the structures and the proportion of the building and how the building is going to work, how the building is going to stand, everything. This is a very important process in the design. And mock-up. Here, since we are dealing with the mud materials, we have to do a lot of samples at site. Before jumping into the construction, we do a lot of samples at site, because soil doesn't have a single rational value. The soil, it is different in every area. Even it differs in the same location but different sites. So we have to know what is the clay content in the soil and how the material reacts in that microclimate of the site. So we do a lot of samples at site, and even we'll face a lot of failures, because during the monsoon and everything, how the material is going to react there. So this helps us a lot, and even during this mock-up process, the client will be with us, so that they'll get an idea of how the material is going to react to all the weather conditions. Site monitoring. So, yeah, here since we work with some complicated structures or new techniques, site monitoring is very, very important, because even to the people who are working there, it's totally new. So we have to be there at site all the time to tell them how this is going to come. And yeah, we too love to visit the site often. Surprisingly, since our clients were all with us throughout the process from the design, he got more curious and more interested, and he comes to the sites daily, even before us, and they'll be giving us a call saying, when you are coming, what are we doing today? And it's more about like learning together and working together. Yeah, I'll just quickly jump into the projects and I'll explain the process. And this is a project called Infinite Rise. It's in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. So when we first visited the site, there was already a man-made cut made there. The client already had some proposals to do, but due to some reasons he didn't do that, so he made a man-made cut. So when we visited the site, we saw that, and we thought, yeah, we'll use that land, because we don't want to disturb the natural terrain. And we studied about the contour pattern, and one more thing is, this site has a beautiful view of all the mountains, like all around. Such a beautiful view. And we found about the views and where the stabilized terrain and the wind flow and everything, as usual we do. And yeah, so here this is actually in Anakiti. It's a small tribal village, and those people they were more trained to, they were more skilled to work on the stone walls. They have actually made their own homes with the stone material. So we called them and we made a stone retaining wall where that cut was made. And we collected the soil we used the existing soil to make the mud walls. So we made a mock-up at site to do to find out about the ratio of the mud wall there. And this is the plan. So since we are covering entirely with the stone retaining wall on one side, we have proposed a courtyard in the center. And all the spaces were looking towards the view of the mountains because the client's main brief was he wanted to have the beautiful view of the structure. So all the spaces were towards the view, and we have two bedrooms and a small pantry and a bar counter with a living space. All the spaces are connected with the courtyard. So initially, we didn't have a plan to propose that Gabion wall in the front, which was in the picture there. We had an idea of proposing the glass facade because such a beautiful view, why should we disturb something covering with that? But as usual, when we were visiting the site, we found out that there was a heavy wind flow there. It was good enough to move a person behind. But think about the glass facade, it's obviously it will be a failure and it will create so much noise and it will wobble all the time. And this site is a rocky bed, and we collected more stones from there. Those were the stones we used in the stone retaining wall also. So we collected some of the porous stones. So we made use of that, and we came up with the idea of this floating stone wall effect. And you can see how the materials and everything blending with the surrounding mountains. So this is nothing but the stones are placed in between the GA mesh with the help of the rods. So this is a beautiful view which I was telling you. And so by this way, we have created a buffer between the spaces and also we have proposed a water body in the middle. So this way, when the air enters the space, it gets filtered and we'll get a little cold air inside. So we can feel the temperature difference inside the space. So this is a view from the bedroom. You can see the view also. And we have also planned a landscape in some parts of the areas. Gabion wall construction, yeah. So we didn't just place the stones here and there. We placed the stones according to the anthropometrical activities of each space. If I am standing there in the bedroom or lying in the bed or having a bath in the shower, so according to the activities and depending on the human scale, we place the stones according to that, so that we don't get the disturbed view. So this is a central courtyard, and since one side is totally covered, this helps in the natural ventilation and the air circulation inside the building. And as I said earlier, for the wood, we collected scrap wood from the scrapyard and we designed our own furnitures on site. And these are the furnitures, we made it on site. And even you can see different kinds of woods were used, but we still think this is fine. We get wood, no, why cut a new tree to make a new furniture? Even the handrails, we designed it on site. So the doors, we collected them from the scrap wood. This is our top view of the building. So next project, this is Into the Wild. We recently completed this project and it is located in Metupalayam in Tamil Nadu. It is right located below the Ooty Hills. So, initially, when we first visited the site, this is actually a site developers project. So we thought like whether we would take a project or not, because how all the earthen materials is going to work with the developers, because we all know, right, they have some set of rules and they have to stick to that. But what we thought, like speaking of nature, humans are also a part of nature. So why not take the project? Let's take this as a challenge and we can do that. And in our previous projects, we got few of the comments from our friends and colleagues like, your building is beautiful only because of the beautiful terrain and the surrounding. So we are all building magicians, no? We can do anything in a flat land also. So we took up that as a challenge and we started designing that. So after COVID, peoples are moving more towards the farmland, moving more towards the nature, and they wanted to get connected with the nature. And the form we have achieved, we did not force any curves or we did not force any spaces into the form. These curves are all made to make the structure more self-sustaining, more stabilized, so that we can avoid the columns and beams. So this is actually a ferrocement structure which is of 2 inches thick. We all know ferrocement has its own pros and cons. The pros is since it's a very lightweight structure, it is very flexible, we can do any kind of structures. But the cons is like being it lightweight, it is more prone to absorb a lot of heat inside the space. Since it is a very humid area, but being only the ferrocement structure doesn't work because the space will get heated up very easily. So we added multiple layers of mud plaster and thappi plaster on both the sides of the structure. And as I said earlier, like more than the construction technique or the material, the construction artists are more important in the building construction. The landform. 1 minute. Yeah, the landform. So, being a site developers project, they made the whole flat site flat. It's about 20 acres of 40 plots. So they made the site flat and they dumped, collected all the soil. They have dumped it in one side of the site. So we thought, why not? Why waste this soil? And we can make use of that. And we made a beautiful landscape out of that. The plan. So the building, the project's name itself explains that it's into the wild. It's a unpredictable wild experience. It doesn't have any barrier inside. It's like a loop. We can go anywhere, everywhere. It's like a forest. So you can just go around the building to, this is the living space, and we have 2 bedrooms with the kitchen and pantry here. All the spaces are connected with the central courtyard here. And all the spaces are also connected green inside with the, also with the landscape outside. We can get a beautiful views. So here you can see we have provided linear windows on the lower level of the building, and that is the level where the landscape also ends. So that way the cold air will enter the space and it will escape through the vent openings we have given. We have given these vent openings on all the space. So even with the doors closed, the air circulation keeps on happening throughout the day, and the light play in this from this opening is very dramatic inside the space. I'll just quickly take you through the construction process. So we excavate the land according to the form of the structure. For we did an RR masonry wall followed by a plinth beam, and then we connected the plinth beam with the series of arches to make the stabilized structural form. And then we did the ferrocement structure. Followed by that, we had 2 inches of mud plaster and thappi plaster. Thappi is nothing but the combination of surki, lime, and jaggery water. And we finished the furnitures with the arise finish. Arise is nothing but the marble powder and the lime dust. So, during the construction process, it was actually a very interesting process. We had about 200, 300 sections, drawings. This is just an idea. So, we made sections like every 8 inches to get the 2D form of the arches, and then we erected this on site to make the stabilized form. And throughout the process, we tried a lot of plan iterations to make the structure stable, because this doesn't have any columns or beams, right? And these are some of the interior views. And again, we collected scrap wood and then we designed our door handles and everything. And these stones, we collected them, we sourced the stones on site and we made it as a stone bench. And some of the interior views. We also customized our own fabrics. Night views. So actually, this is the current condition of our site. The nature, the green has totally taken over the building. We were actually very happy with the outcome, and we can actually feel the temperature difference inside. It's a little colder. Temperature difference is a little less than the outside. I'll just take you through the building with a small video.